Game 3 of the 1908 World Series between the Detroit Tigers and the Chicago Cubs. This was the second consecutive game at the West Side Grounds in Chicago and featured the pitching matchup of George Mullin for the Tigers and Jack Feister for the Cubs. The Tigers' offense got to work right away in the top of the first. Shortstop Charlie O'Leary lined a single to third base. Sam Crawford hit a short grounder in front of home plate and was thrown out at first by catcher Johnny Kling, but O'Leary moved to second on the play. Ty Cobb then drove in the first run of the game with a single, making the score 1-0 Tigers. The Cubs took over the lead in the fourth inning. After Jimmy Sheckard struck out and Johnny Evers walked, Tigers pitcher George Mullin attempted to pick Evers off first. Tigers first baseman Claude Rossman dropped the throw for an error, and Evers ended up safe on second base. Frank Schulte popped a foul back to the catcher for the second out, but a single by Frank Chance scored Evers to tie the game at 1. Chance successfully swiped second base, and Harry Steinfeld reached on another Tigers error, this time by third baseman Bill Coughlin on the throw to first. Frank Chance broke for home on the play, and the second error of the inning by Claude Rossman on the throw to the plate allowed Chance to score unearned and move Steinfeld to second base. Solly Hoffman kept the rally going with a triple to score Steinfeld and make the score 3-1 Cubs, a disastrous inning defensively for the Tigers with 3 errors allowing 3 runs unearned. But the Tigers rallied in the 6th inning when George Mullin walked and a single by Matty McIntyre put runners on first and second. Charlie O'Leary laid down a sacrifice bunt back to the pitcher, but the Cubs were unable to record an out on the play and the bases were loaded with no one out. The Tigers struck with 3 consecutive singles to put 2 more runs on the board. First, Sam Crawford singled to score Mullin and keep the bases loaded. A base hit by Ty Cobb scored McIntyre, bases still full. And Claude Rossman atoned for his defensive miscues in the previous innings with a 2 RBI single to score O'Leary and Crawford and move Ty Cobb to third. The Tigers take the lead by a score of 5-3. A fly ball to center by Germany Schaefer led to a double play for the first 2 outs when Ty Cobb was thrown out at home. Claude Rossman tagged and moved to second on the play, and a double by catcher Ira Thomas sent Rossman home to make the score 6-3 Tigers. Detroit rallied for 2 more in the 8th. Ty Cobb stayed hot with his third hit of the game, this time a double to left field, and a bunt single by Claude Rossman put runners on the corners with nobody out. The Cubs recorded the first out on a fly ball by Germany Schaefer to right field, but allowed Rossman to take second base when Frank Schulte threw to home plate to hold Cobb at third. Ira Thomas drew a walk to load the bases, and a sacrifice fly by Bill Coughlin sent Cobb home. Tigers pitcher George Mullin connected for an infield hit on the first base side, and an error on the throw back to the bag by Frank Chance allowed Rossman to break for home plate, where he scored the Tigers' 8th run of the game. It's now 8-3 Tigers. Ty Cobb continued to give Cubs pitcher Jack Feister grief when he scored up for his 4th hit of the game in the 9th inning. The future Hall of Famer stole second base, then third base, and attempted to steal home plate, but was caught to end the inning. The Cubs couldn't score in the bottom half, and the final tally was 8-3 Tigers. The Tigers overcoming 4 defensive errors, and Ty Cobb with a massive 4-hit game, driving in 2 runs and scoring once. We head back to Detroit for Game 4, with the Cubs leading the series 2-1.